Sorry to be the first one to report, but Josh Allen guaranteed bust this year officially. EA Sports made it official today, gentlemen. Guaranteed bust.
Yeah. So how do we think it's going to happen? Is he just going to have a bad season? Is he going to get run over by a car? Like what's
That's a little far. That's a strong start. That's a strong start.
Those were two polar opposites of ways. Like he can either have a bad season,
the Madden curse does not
run over by a car.
Madden curse shows no mercy, man. They take no prisoners. Obviously, we're joking, but I don't even remember who like the last few covers were to know if like this is even like a thing.
Yeah,
anymore.
It's ingrained in my head that the Madden curse is still a thing. Is it actually still a thing?
No.
Like
not really.
No?
I couldn't tell you who the last three covers were, so I don't know.
I could tell you. I can
okay, of course you
all the way to
could.
2000.
All right, fine. Yeah, fine. Okay, challenge accepted. Let me Google this. This is a great little pivot here. All right, Neumy, I'm Googling it now.
Don't look at the screen share. You can see in the bottom. Don't look.
Okay, Madden covers by year.
Full screen right here. Boom. Full screen. I'll
okay.
take a picture, although I don't have my phone because I don't have to vibrate. Let's do this.
All right. I'm curious if you could do this. This is pretty crazy because I remember some big ones. Like I remember Peyton Hillis and like BS that. But okay, which way are you going? Are you going 2000 up or are you going 2024 down?
What do you want? You tell me.
Start from most recent. Start from most recent.
Most recent.
This is actually crazy how confident you are.
2024, Josh Allen. 2023, John Madden redid the cover. 2022 was Tom Brady and Patrick Mahomes. 2021 was Lamar Jackson. 2020, Patrick Mahomes, because he was down there. And then it was 2019, the Nez's boy, Antonio Brown. 2018 was Tom Brady, which was why 2022 was like, oh, they got people on the cover twice. It was Brady at that. That was 2018, Tom Brady. 2017, Rob Gronkowski.
Oh my God. I can't believe you're actually doing this.
Is he batting 1,000?
2016.
Yeah, he's batting 1,000.
2016, Odell Beckham. 2015, Richard Sherman. 2014 was a tricky one because it was the first year of the next gen councils. So regular gen councils would be Barry Sanders. Next gen would be Adrian Peterson.
Oh my God, he got the double console right.
2013, Calvin Johnson. 2012, Peyton Hillis. 2011, Drew Brees.
2011, I had a buddy who worked for EA Sports at that time, so you could get the game for like $20 or whatever. You could get like a crazy discount. And I have 3 copies of Drew Brees that I was supposed to give people, all still sealed from 2013, like sitting in a cabinet somewhere. Never opened. All 3 of them.
Neumy, maybe you can correct me. I feel like 2013 was probably the beginning of the decline of the Madden franchise. Maybe you disagree because you are clearly very devoted to the game. But I feel like for me, as a consumer, 2013 was where I kind of drew the line.
There was a lot of just drawbacks because I mean, at one point, before they started, then it basically was like, but once it was just a regular gen, it was just a copy and scripted roster update. You know what I mean? It was the same game, but it was just a roster update for $60. But like, hey, if you want to play online with your friends, you need the new one because they turn off the offline on the servers of the old game. So
wow,
it's just
it's kind of like BBM. It's like the same game every year, just new rosters, right? You know?
Yeah, that's like my take is that like best ball. I mean, like why do franchise mode and sim franchise mode when you can spend $3,000 on best ball teams and do a slow sim instead? Like why would you play Madden?
I fully agree with you. Okay, Neumy, we are at Drew Brees 2011. You got 10 more to get perfect. The people are coming in here thinking this is scripted. This is totally organic, GA. I would not give
of choosing a year by inning. You didn't even have to go in order if you didn't want me to. Like you can start picking off random names for the final.
Okay, fine. 2006.
2006, Donovan McNabb. And I'll look right at the screen, so I don't have anything up. I'm sorry. 2006 was Donovan McNabb.
Wow.
2002.
2002. My boy Dante Culpepper.
This is ridiculous. 2007.
Sean Alexander, probably my favorite game ever. My dad got it for me when I was sick on GameCube. I played the out of that game.
He remembers the
On
concept.
GameCube. On GameCube, baby. Let's go.
You do seem like a GameCube guy.
Oh, I love my GameCube. I still got it.
I was a GameCube guy too. I loved playing Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3 on
That system
GameCube.
was so durable. It was unreal. Like that's it. I mean, until it wasn't, but when it was going, like, and all of a sudden, like if you drop, but I mean, that thing was, it was great. Anyway, sorry.
Dropping your console.
Yeah.
I grabbing it by the handle on the back, just like dropping that shit.
Council test. How durable is this thing?
All right, give me 10, 9, and 8.
2010 was the Larry Fitzgerald and Troy Polamalu. 2009 was Brett Favre in a Jets jersey.
That's right. They actually had to switch it because he originally was in the Packers jersey.
Correct.
And then
he had a blank
the insert to get the new.
And then 2008 was Vince Young.
Man, this is crazy. Okay.
Wow.
You haven't done 6, 5, 4.
6 was McNabb. 5 was Ray Lewis. 4 was in the back, Michael Vick. Shout out. 3,
that
Marshall
was the best
Falk.
one.
Oh yeah. I mean, that was like. Marshall
Which one was
Falk.
Peyton Hillis?
2012.
Okay.
Yeah.
2012.
Crazy.
I don't
All
think,
right,
yeah, and then 2002 was Dante Culpepper, which had Marshall Falk, and then 2000 was the other running back. Titans.
Come on, you're gonna make me say it. Yeah,
Eddie George. And then it was
Eddie
John Madden,
George.
the first one. Like I have all of them. Like I had all of them because my cousin had all of them. So when I wasn't playing, because y'all were like, you weren't even old enough to play. Like 2000, I would have been 4. So like I started playing probably when I was like 6, 8. Yeah, I know, it's hilarious. So like I had all those, and then then I was really into it and playing it. And like the only reason I know the other ones is just because like it's on my council. Like, hey, buy the new Madden. It's like, hey, F you, I ain't buying crap. Like it sucks. But yeah, I know the covers.
Wow,
that's incredible, man. That was pretty funny.
Everybody at home give a round of applause to Neumy.
Yeah, I would never set that up. I would never set that up to be like scripted. But when we said this how it went down, like 2 seconds before the show, I was like, I'm gonna make a Josh Allen Madden cover joke here to start. And then you're like, I can name all of them. I was like, I bet your ass you can. Like, prove it. Let's go. And then that was very impressive. Oh man, so good. Let's talk baseball for like 2 seconds, and then let's do a whole bunch of football stuff. We're going to jump into, we've been talking about the ambiguity of situations and jumping into those. We talked last show when we were doing BBM, how we would love to do a show about jumping into that. Then Crane wrote something yesterday or today that runs in tandem with that. And it's just funny how the whole community kind of starts thinking about the same things at the same time, and then it all kind of works off each other. So it'll be a fun little exercise, but I want to talk about 2 things from yesterday. I want to talk about Nez's experience at the ballpark. I want to talk about how Mitch Keller's a fraud and I'm never buying in again. And Ellie De La Cruz. Ellie De La Cruz right now, like that, we got the news to drop in the middle of our show yesterday. And I don't think people really grasp how fucking sweet this dude is. Like, we're talking about a switch hitting dude with some swag. He's got some hair. He's got the chain on. That the chain has a picture of his family in it that's like literally this big that he wears all game long. He comes out, his first piece of contact for the Reds was the hardest hit ball by a Red this season. And that was his first, it was on an 0-2 count, fastball up, like just tag something. And then his sprint speed to then make it to second base where it looked like he was going to go to 3 and thought better of it is 99th percentile in baseball. Like, this guy is so fun. And
hard to believe that a team with Kevin Newman hitting leadoff, like, that wasn't their hardest hit. Like, wow. I'm absolutely floored that Ellie had their hardest hit of the season.
Yeah.
Tuma called it because I dropped my grandma off, as you know, I literally go drop Grammy off. Next thing you know, I have to go do some errands. Next thing you know, I'm on the golf course. So it's like 4. I'm like, okay, let me do a quick 9. I come back, find out, my life is in shambles, Jacob deGrom. And then only to go on Twitter. And what do I find? Spreading all throughout my feed. Ellie De La Cruz, hardest hit ball. Ellie De La Cruz, like, what's what he did in the Reds. And I'm just like, Tuma called it. It just takes one hit and all of a sudden he's
Mhm.
spreading. And
Well,
also what
I
happened
was
this morning, he goes like pick 80, like in a
right.
7-game stretch. So
I was watching that game last night, obviously, and he in the middle of the broadcast, they alluded to the fact that the Reds sent a tweet out 4 hours prior to the game that he had been called up with the little video and whatever. And it was their most viewed and engaged tweet in the history of Reds Twitter. And it only been live for 4 hours.
Whoa.
Yeah. I was
Whoa.
like, oh man, this guy's going to move the needle for people. So yeah, fun night, man. Fun night. Nez, how was your night at the ballpark?
It was good. It was pretty good. I went and I got some normal seats this time. Didn't splurge. I was there with a buddy of mine, and we sat like third base side, like kind of like behind third base. Got a good angle of the game, and we were in the outfield concourse when Jordan Walker hit a home run, and I thought that ball was coming right for us. That was a missile, dude. 430 feet. Just an absolute nuke. I was like, okay, there's Jordan Walker. Yeah, dude, it was a shot. Like I was baffled. That was unbelievable. And the food, by the way, at Globe Life, second to none. Anywhere you go, there is just a fantastic food options. I got brisket egg rolls at the game.
Ooh, interesting.
And you can get a side of fries. So it comes with a side of fries, but they also have garlic fries. But like, I was like, hey, I was talking to this lady. She's like 50 years old. I'm like, miss, like, sweetheart, like, can I get garlic fries with this? Like, I don't want 2 orders of fries. She's like, well, I can't really do that. And I was like, damn, like, all right, that's fine. And then I saw her talk to the cook back there. She's like, can you sprinkle a little garlic on those fries?
What a sweetheart,
like,
baby.
You're my girl. You're my girl. So she hooked me up.
Like, hey, we got to go to there. Be like, no, they have one on this side of the stadium. It's like, you don't understand. Like, my girl hooks me up over here. Like, we got it.
Yeah, I made sure I gave her a little tip in the card reader for that one. That was clutch. But yeah, I got to see another Rangers dub. Rangers are so legit. They're so good, and tons of Cardinals fans at that game. But I was having trouble enjoying the experience because I'm checking my MLB app while I'm at the game. Just like, I've got a ton of pick'em entries on Mitch Keller, got a ton of other redacted website entries on Mitch Keller. Going against the A's. Let's go ahead and check up on my boy, see how Mitch Keller's doing tonight. Wow, dude, my summer is ruined. I'm absolutely gutted to see.
I will never financially recover from this.
Like, he's probably already like paid off 20th round like pick, return. Like, he's already like, he could put up a 0 for the rest of the way and he would still be a good pick. But this hurts, dude. The last 4 starts have been really bad.
Yeah.
This one is especially bad because there was only 1 strikeout. Yeah, I'm trying not to be like overly nervous, but this is not a good trend for our boy. And I think in the 7th inning stretch, you're going to see him fall like 30 picks.
Right. Yeah. I mean, that's how reactionary these contests are. It's interesting because, like, you think, hey, such a good spot versus Oakland, blah, blah, blah. Granted, not in Oakland, in PNC, but PNC, decent place to pitch and whatnot. And it was pretty crazy to see almost every projection model that I looked at yesterday had Gausman versus Houston ranked higher. Like,
as far
just in terms of fantasy
saying that
points.
Gausman was the better pick.
Yeah.
Dude, Gausman is on another level right now.
Oh, fully agree, right? Like, I'm not to discredit him. Like, the sinker's incredible. He's getting strikeouts for days. It's a pretty good strikeout matchup against the Astros. But, like, I was just, like, floored that, like, Mitch Keller has been so dominant all year. His strikeouts, we talked about, like, 7 straight games with 8 Ks or whatever it was prior to 2 starts ago. Yeah, I don't know. Crazy, man. They're just very interesting that the models were so sharp. And I was like, IKB 30% Mitch Keller. I'm going to take him in the first and build out all my Coors stacks with Keller instead of Gausman, and it killed me. But
yeah,
interesting.
I'm surprised at you because, like, our boy Paxton was in a great spot against the Guardians, and
not a great strikeout matchup, but good matchup.
Yeah, good. I mean,
Yeah.
put up a monster score for a pitcher in that spot. That one felt good. Like I don't know that we're gonna get the Paxton discount anymore.
Yeah.
Maybe in certain spots, but that to me felt pretty good. And real quick, I just want to say I did a little write up for the slate today. It's kind of a pretty murky slate, so just kind of like gave I called it a take sheet. I'll go ahead and post in the comments if anybody's playing baseball wants to see my thoughts on the slate. Just wrote up a
Sweet.
little something in a Google Doc. So nothing too formal, but just some thoughts on how I'm looking at the slate today.
That's awesome. Here, throw that in the private chat for me too, and then maybe if we get to baseball at the end there.
Are these your Nez nugs? Like, are these your nuggets?
These are like
Free,
these
baby.
are like tenders.
Nice.
Tenders. Oh my goodness. Talk about bang for my buck.
Yeah, Chick-fil-A out here.
Yeah.
You guys ready to jump baseball, or what do you guys think?
Yeah.
I mean, jump football. Sorry.
Yeah. Jump into football. Yeah.
Oh yeah, you
Jump
went.
from
Yeah, your
baseball.
favorite stacks. Look at this, man. This guy's working hard this morning.
Yeah, this is just like raw view of where I'm at, like on the slate. Like I didn't like look too hard at like projections today. I just kind of like gave my vantage point without like I haven't jumped in any lobbies yet, you know. So this is just like how I kind of see it from a bird's eye view. The biggest thing is that like the Giants, man, the Giants are in another smash spot, and the weather is murky, and that's like that is just like insane because that's like the biggest decision point is like what do you do about it?
Yeah, I was so happy with how I played yesterday because they had all those Q tags and nobody was drafting them till we officially got the lineup. And,
I know.
And whatever, I had 40% Wade and 43% Estrada. And then Otani was my third highest owned. And then the problem was most of it was tied to Keller instead of being tied to Gosman. So I got that one wrong. Still had a profitable night, obviously, but it felt like when I was watching bits and pieces of that game, it felt like I should have been sweeping the leaderboard. And I was like, what the hell's going on here?
Yeah. Wade was such a smash yesterday. I said it in the chat that I was probably going to have close to 100% Lamont Wade because of how cheap he was and how awesome that matchup was. And that looked good.
Yeah, you had a good lineup too, where he was actually just a one-off, and you tied for fourth with him as a one-off there. So
yeah. That helped salvage my Mitch Keller heavy night.
Before we jump into everything football and stuff like that, I just want to highlight the Discord. I led with shout out to the community and how we all feed off each other. And I said something in our Discord the other night. Like, I am genuinely so appreciative of the people that come here, watch this show, interact with us, talk with us in the Discord, because, man, this is such a sharp community. And just some of the free resources in there that I have linked below there, but I just want to bring them all up. Shout out Chad. We got 200 shared draft boards now. I got another 8 to add to that. But we got this with the ownership stuff and the stacks. He's still working on the combinatorial ownership stuff. He chimes in the chat to share it with us all the time. Then of course, the sheet, definitively just called the sheet now, from baseball, with all the moving parts of ADP and whatnot. And then John Boy Beats yesterday from the top ropes, just sharing an invaluable resource, in my opinion, where I've never seen anything that's like so aesthetically pleasing to look at. The scores outputs in Underdog points for every single player dating back to BBM1, and just looking at the arc of every single player and how many points they scored each of those weeks, and then giving like an outline of Justin Jefferson's, his average, his ceiling, his floor production, how many points were over 10 games, how many were over 50, how many over 20. It's just incredible to have all these free resources at our disposal. We're going to do a full show where we dive into each of these independently and talk through it, some stuff. Wasn't entirely prepared to do that today, but just like, man, big shout out to everyone in this community. Big shout out to you guys. All this stuff is so sick and invaluable that it's free for everyone who's participating. Just so cool.
Yeah, this is awesome. One of my biggest takeaways from this, just like a quick hit, is that like Patrick Mahomes is just otherworldly. The fact that he doesn't rush and still has like so many games over 35, so many games over 30, despite not being a rushing quarterback, is just like that. He is so unfair. He is so unfair.
My first takeaway was very similar, where I said, look at the elite quarterbacks and the floor they provide comparatively. Granted, like quarterback scoring is just higher in general, so these numbers are always going to pop, but you're getting 45% of the time, damn near half of Patrick Mahomes' games are greater than 25 fantasy points on a platform.
This is not normal. This is not normal.
Right.
Like, you don't take this for granted. Like this landscape is like something that we have never had in fantasy with 3 quarterbacks, and potentially more depending on how the season comes out.
Well, just two now, because Josh Allen was served the kiss of death today.
Shit.
So the curse is gone. It's just Mahomes and Hurts now. That's it.
Shit.
I'm sorry.
I forgot. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. I forgot about that.
Yeah. Anything to add, Neumy, or do we want to talk about some ambiguity in situations?
Yeah, let's just go forward.
All right, let's do it. That was your take sheet. Depth charts. Here we go. Okay, so I just slapped this together quickly. I will share it with everybody in the Discord. If you want to copy paste this, add some notes to it. I'm going to make it more aesthetically pleasing and update it as we go. But just as situations change, I think it's really good to have like the entirety of depth charts in our mind tethered to ADP, right? Because what are we talking about right now? Everyone's talking about the same shit. We're all hunting for closing line value. We're looking at the profiles of certain archetypes of players that when we put them together, how are we going to find closing line value, right? We take 2 elite running backs early, then we punt them till a bit later, and then we're looking for high upside handcuffs and then a floor guy. Or, we're thinking through our builds like that. Let's just look at some of these teams and these rosters and look at some of these names that, hey, man, maybe these are going overlooked because this could provide more than we are currently giving it credit. Like, where can we find some of these spots to ape into where we can then get ahead of the field now? Because as Corain alluded to in his, I think it was called Draft Like a Time Machine, and they were talking about a little bit on Best Ball Breakfast today, is if you draft like you have a time machine as like a mantra or whatever, we want to be catching guys at their lowest interval, to like quote him, right? We want to get them at their cheapest possible price and not be paying the tax on the way up. He talks about Justin Jackson in the article. In the past, we could pinpoint like Darrell Henderson or Gus Edwards, who were both big time camp risers and that sort of thing. And we want to catch those before they happen. So just looking through these charts and kind of finding some names right now is kind of my idea of like, or our idea of the best way to go about it, right?
Yeah. No, I think that was well said. I kind of forgot about the Justin Jackson week 16 2021 explosion until he reminded me of it in the article. I completely forgot about that.
Should we just start at the top here and just like rapid fire one-off takes as we go?
Yeah, you can kind of like, if it's something that maybe we just feel, isn't worth spending time on, I think, we can kind of just treat it as such.
Okay. Arizona, what names jump out to you guys? I think there's a big fight over this WR2 tier right now, would probably be the most mindful. And then there's also the Trey McBride getting a little steam late. Any shaking up here or any guys you like here just in general as targets?
I do like taking Keontae Ingram. I think we kind of look at potentially this team shedding veterans, getting cheaper on the payroll, trying to get some looks at younger guys to, if this Cardinals team is as depleted and bad as the field is kind of thinking. We saw Keontae get a little bit of run last year. Like, there was the opportunity for Benjamin to take over that backfield. Not only did he not do that, but they cut him after. And Keontae Ingram, I think, is actually a pretty interesting prospect. I believe, is he from USC? I don't know why I get USC vibes from him, but I liked the
I think
way
he's
that
Arizona.
Arizona. Okay, somewhere in the West.
Yeah.
I think he's a pretty interesting player. He looked pretty decent when he got run. I like the way, I mean, all these running backs look good in college pretty much, but I think he's pretty interesting and somebody that I throw darts at in the 18th round sometimes.
I'm wrong. It was SC.
Nice. Yeah. So he's
it.
He's a pretty fun click there. And then of course, like the wide receivers are like all like Michael Wilson was like the flavor of the week for a little bit. I'm not like rushing to like push up Michael Wilson, but definitely somebody that like in the 18th, I think we should be sprinkling in and being just like paying very close eye to the camp reports on Michael Wilson. If we're hearing from beat writers that like Wilson looks the part, he's getting run, playing over Dortch, etc. Like I have no problem like taking that as like a positive sign and not just shrugging it off as like, oh, camp fluff. Like I will be buying into Wilson, and Trey McBride is getting a lot of steam too, and that's and that's well deserved. All these guys are really cheap, and there's a lot of playing time to be had here. So definitely, Cardinals are like a sneaky team to be drafting.
Yeah, I do agree with you with the sneaky notion, and I do agree with maybe instead of chasing the steam of these first two right now, who keep getting pushed up, and ETR has Rondell ranked quite high. It's just maybe some darts at kind of like the bigger guys at the back end, like these two bigger dudes as outside receivers potentially to fill that X role. Neumy, anything to add on the Cardinals, or you want to move to the Falcons?
No, I like that a lot. I basically like Keontae, and then those back end wide receivers, Wilson kind of being there, and just McBride, just knowing that the highest ADP of all of them is McBride at like 202, and that's also just from recent steam. It's an interesting spot there for a team that could be very bad and have no incentive to continue to play these older vets instead of give these young run. Like if Kyler isn't there or for however long, and they haven't won a game, like what's the incentive to bring? I don't know. So yeah, I like that.
Yep. Yeah, we saw Colt McCoy have serviceable weeks too last year, so he could carry maybe not multiple pass catchers, but he could carry like one of them, kind of deal. All right, Falcons. We've talked about all offseason how the Tannehill smoke at the quarterback position. They're very crowded running back room, obviously highlighted by Bijan going in the first round right now. This putrid depth chart at wide receiver, though, as someone alluded to in the chat already, very interesting here. I have been mixing in Mac Hollins as a run back, primarily with those mini Chicago ones. If I do like a Fields, DJ Moore, I've been doing him in the last round there. I think you could do worse, especially if we get, like, you want to look for closing line value. He wins that WR2 job. We saw it from him last year. And then they either Desmond Ridder or Taylor Heineke looks good in the preseason, or they bring in Tanny. I think you could do worse than targeting a guy like that in the 18th round. Anything to add here, gentlemen?
No, this team kind of is what it is. I think Algier and Patterson are actually like good clicks right now. Like Algier almost always is like continues to fall. Patterson is free in drafts. I love Bijan. I think Bijan is the truth. But there's probably a better chance that he has 60% of a snap share than like 85% of a snap share. And this team ran the ball well with Tyler Algier. I think just as like a pure variance play, getting a little Algier or Patterson, not both. And I wouldn't take all these guys at once. I would take each of them by themselves, just like sprinkled in amongst your portfolio is probably a sharp move, because I don't think I think Patterson's going to go way undrafted, and he probably deserves more than like 10% drafted amongst all teams in BBM, which I think is probably a safe bet as far as like his total draft.
Wind up being their wide receiver too in some respects, like, like not actually, but like Maybe
lining lining him out wide. Like
two backs on the field and then split him out to the slot or split him out wide. Like he has that level of versatility, right? I mean,
yeah, and
he
three
could
wide
be
receiver
this
sets or four. Yeah, he could easily be out there.
super gadget player. Yeah, Neumy.
No, I like that a lot. Patterson's been kind of like a click, like a click that I've always queued up. I've only taken like once or twice in a couple drafts, just because it's like how much. But like I just he continually is one of the guys that I'm just like I'm always looking at for the same reason as I wonder how much he's going to be drafted, and then just I know what's in his way in Bijan and Tyler Algier, but it's for that fact that he can get on the field and maybe do things in other ways, but that doesn't involve him just handing the ball off, even though it seemed like he was mostly efficient and basically being the better fantasy producer as a running back. But just, I don't know, just get him out in space, do anything out there. And like, I think that, I mean, yes, Matt Collins is a guaranteed, but that's the thing. Like, if he's there and like pass ball, you only have Drake London. Like, I don't think Matt Collins doesn't scare me to like make Cordell Patterson to think that, yeah, he could easily step into wide receiver 3, if not in some certain place.
Oh yeah, I wasn't bringing that up to suggest that. I thought it was a smart comment.
Yeah, no, that point of just basically Drake London and no one else there. Obviously, Kyle Pitts, don't get like he's there, but like, yeah, I don't know. Cord is fun. I like Cord as a potential like just dart in the last round that no one's really taken. But I could also just see him being a dust ball pick at the same time. So it's tough.
Yeah, definitely like
super
not every draft, not a Patterson in every draft, but
no.
keep in mind
when it's right.
Board. Yeah.
No points for the kickoff return touchdown, right? Yeah, no special teams points.
Don't believe so. Someone can correct
only
them.
DraftKings. DraftKings, you get the special teams.
Yeah, because I just saw that like there was like the major injury, and it was Avery Williams.
Ravens. Let's do these. A bit quicker.
Well, Gus Edwards is one of my favorite clicks. Nice. As a running back, and it's just because of what we know of J.K. Dobbins and the knee, and it's just you're getting them at 188 and a lot of times past that because people just don't want to take him. So he's been a running back when I ended up needing just want to throw a dart that I think someone that could step in maybe provide a spike week or two. He's been one of my favorite options back there. I don't know about you guys.
Yeah, it feels like the Ravens depth chart has looked the same for the last 10 years with these two players right here. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just like, it feels like it's like the exact same. Yeah.
I think the Ravens depth chart like is what it is. You know, I don't think there's like too much to really like touch on. Like, we know who the targets are here. Like, it's pretty cut and dry. I think if I was to say like anything about any one of these guys, Isaiah Likely is kind of like interesting. They could potentially run more two tight end sets. That'd be 12 personnel, John. And he looked good as a rookie. So I think there's potential for him to actually like kind of grow his role. And why wouldn't the Ravens run more like 12 personnel? Like they do that a lot. Like that's what they've done.
It would be the Ravens to sign Odell Beckham, draft Zay Flowers, get more weapons, all this, and be like, you know what? But we're gonna run 12 personnel more time.
They are
right.
They are.
I know that. I know. That would be the Ravens.
Yeah, I think we can all, given Nez's exposure and the way we talk on this show, I do think we all think that Bateman is undervalued right now still.
Yeah.
Big time.
Yeah.
Big time.
I think he's
big time.
I think he's a big separator from this group. And I think once we see some action and know that he's as healthy as he alludes to him being right now, as he says he is right now at OTAs, like I think we get a little more steam and he separates from the pack a little bit here. Back end guys, are we touching anyone here? Like Duvernay was spike week guy last year with some deep threat stuff.
I haven't touched any of them.
Okay. And Crochet they love, but they used him a lot last year when there were injuries and stuff, but I think it might just be too deep.
Yeah, I think so too. Like Aguilar obviously like has deep ball like history, but I can't see myself like getting there.
Yeah.
Personally.
That's a low key, like pretty deep wide receiver room.
Didn't they just
They-
sign
they did a lot.
Laquan Treadwell too?
Did they really?
Not
I
that
didn't
that
see
matters. Not that that
No,
matters.
but it's just another name.
Yeah, it's another name. I was like, didn't the Ravens sign someone else? And it was
It's a
I
stark contrast from last year.
think it was Laquan.
Right.
You can point me out if I'm wrong.
Bills. I think a lot of people's favorite darling and kind of like underpriced, in those 0 RB builds right now is Dame Harris. I think a lot of people are feeling that way, that you take a little bit of the load off of Josh Allen around the goal line this year. You use a guy like Dame Harris. You maybe Latavius Murray fits in that role a little bit.
Yeah.
And then
you're forgetting the number one wide receiver on the Bills.
Oh, our guy Hardy?
Shorter.
Oh, yeah, Shorter. Where is he?
Put him in there.
There we go, baby. To be honest, I ripped this. I ripped this list. I ripped this list from somewhere else. So that's on them, not me. This is we're gonna have
to. So we like Justin Shorter, Neumy, because there's if you Google his image on Google, he's a Florida receiver and he was wearing a crop top as a receiver and he looks good. So
he looks like Kyle Pitts. That's all I need to see.
Yeah,
so he's our new number one Bills target.
John, I can just immediately seeing this guy and his reaction. Oh, I can picture it. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
Aguilar getting some hype here. I haven't seen much of that, but that's I mean, I can't fault it. I mean, he's been pretty good the last 2 years. Just in general, like we saw what he did in Vegas. We saw what he did with the Patriots. I mean, professional. You want to talk about professional wide receivers who are going to find their way onto the field? Feels all right.
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
I think the story of the Bills is like obviously like the tight ends, right? Because Kincaid goes 60 picks ahead of Knox.
Yep.
I heard Hope talking about Hope Bishop. For those who don't know, definitely check her streams out with Davis, and who's hanging out with us in the chat, saying that she got Knox in like the 18th in a couple drafts. Like that is crazy. That is absolute madness. I'm not putting a wager on this because I've got enough money tied up in best ball, but I would wager that Knox has a better season in whatever metrics you want to say than Kincaid this season personally.
Yeah,
Kincaid getting a lot of
Oh, go ahead.
Well, Kincaid getting a lot of steam at OTAs from beat reporters as of yesterday. A couple reports where like they're developing a quick rapport. He's been utilized with the first team down the slot, down the seam, 40-yard touchdown. Like they're like all this kind of like, that clickbaity shit this time of year that you want to hear about him. That's the stuff that's getting publicized right now. But I do tend to agree with you guys there where it's like, give me Knox at the discounted price, follow the money, follow the veteran, follow the guy who can block. And then, yeah.
Yeah, he's my highest Bill, Dawson Knox. I've got him in my last couple slows in the 17th, Nez. So like I was shocked myself. Like I don't understand what's good. Like I had to Google and make sure that like they didn't come out and say Dawson Knox running with the twos or something like this. And I'm like, what is legitimately happening? Like, I don't know. It's funny to me.
I just pulled up Twitter to find that Dalton Kincaid thing, and all I see is my first thing right here is crutches squatting 405 pounds.
Of course.
He's got like a video of him. So, yeah. He bails out on the third one, drops it on the ground. I can't fault him there.
Oof.
He's got that's heavy, man. Props.
That's what crutches does, man.
Yeah. I think he was former like military or something. I think he said that on a stream with Pete once before.
Oh, really?
They did like when they did like a Discord hang one, I think he came on one time. Anyway,
I'll have to ask him.
that was funny just to see that.
Former military and also can just pick up a golf club and just stripe it like no one's business, and after like a year or two.
That's kind of like me too, Neumy. I don't play. I just pick it up. It's the hockey stuff. Like it's just the same motion. All right, let's keep rolling here. Carolina, when I did this, I was like, holy shit, They only got 3 running backs like this. I mean, maybe we're just missing a couple guys' names here, given the fact that we are missing Shorter from this list. But the fact that they're only listing like 3 right here, I'm really warming up to Chuba for multiple reasons. They used Blackshear as the pass catching guy a little bit last year, especially later in the season. But I don't know. Like, I'm warming up to a little, like, it's not insurmountable that a guy who was so before Chuba got hurt in his final year, he was supposed to come out 1 year earlier from college, right? And he decided not to. I know this because he's a good Canadian boy. He decided not to. He goes back for another year, gets hurt, but there was smoke around him being like the number 1 running back off the board that previous year. Then he gets hurt, then he comes out, then whatever. And then we saw him when McCaffrey was out kind of not live up to the hype. And I think that lives in the back of people's minds. But just a guy that I've low key been warming up to a little bit. And then just easy backstack targets like this. I'm starting to see Marshall go a bit more in the 18th round there. At no point do I think that Marshall couldn't just vault this depth chart and be the most valuable of the bunch. So betting on him in the last round feels okay right now. Any other names you guys want to highlight from Carolina as potential?
Chuba is my highest exposed running back through
Ooh.
like 70 drafts at like 26%. So he's he's been one of my favorite clicks, obviously in the back. But I also think Hayden Hurst is a fun option, just as like a 200 plus tight end that you can easily stack up with Bryce Young and or not if you're going 3 tight end builds or anything. Like I just think that's another
former first round pick, athletic dude, right?
Believe if I'm right, it's following the money. Like, didn't he was it 3 years or something like that? No, maybe I'm wrong. Yeah, 3-year contract. So I don't know. I think it's those two have been like my favorite clicks out there. Those wide receivers have been one where it's like if they fall, it's tough. But like I don't know, I don't. It's tough for me. I don't have any Adam Thielen. I know that's going against the whole brand, but no Adam Thielen.
Guy changes his laundry and you change your tune, huh?
Wow,
pathetic.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough out here.
Can we move to the Bears?
Yeah.
Okay. Bears backfield is kind of like the biggest conversation right now between these 3. And then I'm kind of team give me Khalil or give me the cheapest. That's kind of how I'm going about it right now. Is I do think I like Herbert the best of the bunch. I think we saw enough from him last year to be like, yo, this guy can play, right? Like this guy can play a little ball. Do you guys feel similarly, or do you guys prefer to make different bets right now?
Herbert's my highest owned running back and my 3rd highest owned player.
Whoa. Okay. In lockstep there.
Yeah, man. I really like Roschon. I wish he didn't go to the Bears, and I do like Deontay Foreman as well. I think these are like the competition is like, not great, but JJ Zacharyson, one of his theses is like when there's ambiguous backfields, just like take the RB1. And like you said, I think we saw enough from Khalil Herbert that like, hey, like he's the RB1. Like I think Khalil Herbert is legit, and it's more so. Well, not more so, but also like buying into the fact that I think the Bears offense is going to be good this season. I have a lot of Komet as well, a lot of Pitts with the run back on this. So yeah, I'm all in on Khalil Herbert.
I like it. 0 Khalil Herbert and a bunch of the other guys. So
wow. Okay. Interesting. Sell me this pen, Neumy. What's the difference? Just price?
I think when you're just talking about ambiguous, I think they signed Deontay Foreman and they drafted Roschon Johnson. Like we want to talk about just following an organization and what they're telling us. I think that's telling us they don't view Khalil Herbert as an RB1 that can be a 3-down back and that can hold up. And it's fair like enough. If any one of these guys has a hot stretch or Roschon all of a sudden it turns out to be anything, or Foreman's giving what you did last year, they're not going to just be like, oh, well, we got to keep running out Khalil Herbert if he's struggling. It's just, yeah. And their ADPs being, kind of close is maybe wrong on my part. What is it, like 122, 140, 160? Maybe that's wrong.
122, 144, wow. 166. Nailed it.
Yeah. So yeah, it's, it's It's just the way I've been going about it. I don't think it's wrong at all. I do think Herbert is a good running back. That's not default Herbert at all. I'm just that's been my take about it, and just kind of grabbing the cheaper one. There's guys in the Herbert range that I enjoy more. So yeah, just
fair enough.
And kind of a strange turn. My third highest running back is Roschon Johnson.
Okay, there you go. I think that's okay. So then, do you have less Foreman? Like, do you have barely any Foreman?
10% Foreman.
Okay.
Yeah. So you're just kind of making bets that are cost adjusted based on what your roster type looks like, and just noting the fact that this is an ambiguous backfield. I am taking a stand, but I also want pieces of it if it doesn't fall the way in which I currently think it will.
Yeah. I'm just like really in on this offense.
Fair enough. Yeah. Speaking of really in on this offense, is anyone touching any of these last 5 wide receivers? Mooney and Moore go in every single draft. First of all, are you guys drafting any Bears wide receiver unstacked?
No, I haven't. No.
It's usually Mooney if I do. Okay. Definitely not Claypool, but I will take a little dart throw on Mooney. I think Mooney has some like spike upside, some potential spike weeks there. I like Mooney.
Call your shot.
And Komet, but you asked wide receivers, so.
Okay. Nobody's scared of Robert Tonyan?
Didn't even know he was there.
No, not really. Like, coming, like, you're just thinking, like, what did he give you? And then he coming up, he had the ACL, right? Like, it was an ACL, or like he came back after the year. Yeah. And like, I don't know. Maybe he comes in and he's a good tight end too. To me, he seems more like maybe I'm wrong. I'm not deep in the weeds on this, but he seems more of a pass catching tight end than a like inline blocker. Maybe I'm totally wrong with that. Someone can either pull up a PFF and they're like, no, you're that's opposite. But for me, it seemed like the reason why he was out there for the Packers was he was a pass catching tight end for Rodgers. But no, I'm not.
He missed most of 2021 with a torn ACL.
Yeah, and he was he was a Rodgers merchant. I'm not worried about Tonyan.
Yeah, I mean, most of his value came from touchdowns, right? Like that was basically what it was.
It's like that's all it was.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Do you guys want to call your shot on this back end of wide receivers? It's Claypool or nobody for you guys?
I don't really want to. No, thank you.
Yeah, I'd rather not.
Fair enough.
Claypool's fine in stacks, but that's it.
Okay. Bengals, we've talked a little bit about the backfield because we did the Joe Mixon segment the other day. Mixon still feels like one of the most mispriced players. Just in terms of if we are searching for closing line value right now, as much as I think the guy's a scumbag, I gotta keep drafting him, right? Like I don't even think he's that good at football, and I gotta keep drafting him, So
yeah, I do feel like it's time for me to start mixing in Joe Mixon into my backfields. I haven't really much yet. Like so far out of my post, I have one share of Joe Mixon in my 110 post NFL draft teams. Well,
yeah, that is not much.
It's not much, and I do think I want to get, and I do want to get get a little bit more. I don't want to be like completely zeroed out, but like you said, I just don't think he's good at football. So I'm not gonna be in line with the field. I'll probably be around like 5%. But I wonder how much more room he has to run. I don't know.
Yeah, fair enough. Chase Brown for you guys. The back end of this, is anyone touching anyone other than Chase Brown, or are we just going, hey, the rookie comes in and he's the RB2 here right now, or are we relying on they sign a dusty vet?
I think they're going to sign a vet, but if they don't, then it's like this is Joe Mixon's backfield, and I don't know. Yeah. I guess Chase Brown makes sense. Like Chase Brown's already like a 16th round pick, so I don't know how much higher he can really go. I guess it just depends on the camp reports.
Yeah, I feel that. The wide receivers, I mean, they go so dang early every single time. First 3 rounds. We talked about Tyler Boyd as both a standalone value and contingency value. Just feels like such a safe bet as like your 4th or 5th wide receiver right now. I'm about it. Drew Sample, good UW boy, but nobody's touching him. Where do you guys come out on Irv Smith? We looking to get ahead of the field on Irv Smith as kind of a 1-for-1 replacement of Hayden Hurst last year?
I don't know if Irv Smith is good.
Yeah, fair enough.
And I know you can say he's hurt and yada yada, but when he wasn't hurt, he couldn't separate to save his soul. When he did separate, it was like 50-50 on wide open balls, and it was like 25% on probably contested catches. Like, this is just watching every single Vikings game. It was just like, holy crap, Irv, could you do anything? And then he did something, and it was like, oh my gosh, but then he'd go back to doing absolutely nothing. Now, maybe it's different. Maybe with Joe Burrow as your quarterback, and maybe he presents, but I think for me, I see if Joe Mixon's there, there's 4 other options on offense over Irv. But then again, Hayden Hurst also produced. I think Hayden Hurst is probably a better tight end, but maybe that doesn't matter. Maybe that's just me thinking, but it's also the 151 price tag that it's like, whew, if I don't have Burrow and like, if I'm not setting up a chief stack or anything, like, do I really need to go take Irv and spend that price tag there on that tight end? Like, I just, for me in that range, I'm normally not thinking Irv.
Yeah, I mean, I think Irv Smith is low-key ridden the Alabama coattails for a long time here, and he's gotten a free pass of like, oh, he's been injured, but like, hey, he was good. He was good. Trust us. He's good. He's good, right? Like, that's kind of been like what's carried him thus far in his career kind of thing. I think this year is like an incredibly pivotal year for his career. But
yeah,
if we talk range of outcomes for like a tight end tethered to this offense, like
100%.
6 to 11 touchdowns, that range of outcome is definitely there. I don't think he can eclipse 700 yards. I mean, I think you'd be very hard pressed to eclipse 700 yards, given like the other pieces in this offense. But hunting touchdowns in like a 3 touchdown or in a 3 tight end build kind of makes some sense to me. But I do agree with you. The price tag is a little rich for a guy we haven't seen much of in recent memory.
The Vikings let him walk, and we saw, obviously, we made the trade for TJ. He was hurt, but like, we let him walk. There was no, like, we made the trade. We made our bet, like, hey, we're not going to sign him. We're going to move on from him. So, I don't know, that just could be the way, hey, we're going to move on, and he's just not fitting our team, and it's a new regime too, so it's all that, but yeah.
This might be too big of an exercise and endeavor to rip off all in one day. So maybe we go to our Lions. We'll go to our Lions. We'll rapid fire these last 2, and then we'll jump into BBM.
Okay.
Put some of this knowledge to work. Anything you want to add about Bengals, or can we do Browns?
No, we can do Browns. I just think it's weird that the Bengals didn't do more at tight end. That's pretty strange, and
that's fair.
There's Tanner Hudson truthers out there.
I'm one of them. Yeah. He had more stats than Sample did last year. It's weird. It's weird. I don't know. I totally agree. Like, Irv Smith is undersized. I think he's probably overrated. Like, I'm guilty of it.
Remember playing those 2-game Thanksgiving slates, the 3-game Thanksgiving slate, and we're like, how are we gonna win this large scale GPP? Let's just go bully tight end. We'll take double tight end, and the second one's gonna be Tanner Hudson. Like, that's gonna be the 6th. That's going to be the 7 points you need to separate. I have such a vivid memory of doing that last year.
Those slates.
And also, real quick, like, I would rather have, just in a vacuum, I'd rather have Gerald Everett, Taysom Hill, Dawson Knox, maybe Sam Laporta over Irv Smith.
Do they all go behind Irv?
They all go behind Irv. Irv is literally now.
That's why I don't have much Irv. Like,
Irv
I
is
like
almost
him,
about to be a top 150 pick. He's 151.2. Like, that's just really rich for me.
Gerald Everett might be the most mispriced tight end, period.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, let's do the Browns here. First full year of redacted. I think a lot of people are pegging this as a spot for DeAndre Hopkins. Wait to see that come to fruition. Elijah Moore, we saw him on the risers list, according to ETR's data there. Just interesting. David Bell, second-year breakout. Cedric Tillman, rookie season. Marquise Goodwin did a lot with a little last year in a couple games there where Tyler Lockett wasn't around, multiple touchdowns and stuff like that. I don't know. There are things to like and dislike here, but I think the most talked about, and rightfully so right now, is without Kareem Hunt there, Jerome Ford's price, moving basically 35 spots, 28 to 35 spots in recent memory. Yeah, who you guys liking on the Browns? Who do you want to kind of plant, call a shot on here? Do you like where the backfield's going? Do you like the new price tag of Elijah Moore?
I think it's weird that Elijah Moore is moving up as much as he is, but yeah, I think you could pretty easily make the case that like Deshaun Watson after half a season is, in better football shape and ready to, kind of look more like how he looked whenever he was playing football full time. And Njoku is like a really nice pick, but I guess it's weird. They just have so many, like, they draft Cedric Tillman. They drafted David Bell last year. David Bell, I guess, is dust now. Like with DPJ, they add Elijah Moore. They have him, like, they're just so many guys here. I'm just like not sure what their goal is.
Yeah.
And I will say with the Jerome Ford stuff, like I don't have much Jerome Ford because he's going so early, but if you're going to look at Nick Chubb's snap shares in the past and think like, well, somebody has to be the RB2. And if it's nobody else than Jerome Ford, then Jerome Ford looks like a really nice pick. But
it's a good point, Nez.
Yeah, I don't think that there's, it's kind of hard to just like look at the snap shares for Chubb and think like, yeah, he's like they're going to give him more, even though he's another year older.
Yeah,
I don't know.
There's a misconception surrounding him because he's a super high yards per carry guy. His physical stature looks like, he's a grown ass man, right? Like that's who he is. There is a misconception that in people's minds that Nick Chubb plays 85% of snaps every single week and, pounds the rock and gets 20 touches no matter what. But as you're alluding to here, I mean, he's a 50% guy. And maybe some of that was talent behind him in Kareem Hunt that made him a 50% guy. But I don't know. I always say the if then statement or the chicken and the egg there. I mean, what if just to keep him fresh, to keep him the kind of player that he is, that he's always just a 50% guy? They don't bring in another veteran and it's Jerome Ford season here in the Kareem Hunt role, right?
Mm-hmm. It does feel like that RB2 role is there to be had. I guess I'm kind of like holding out on some of these vets. I feel like Leonard Fournette could find himself on this team, or Zeke Elliott, because Zeke Elliott's an excellent pass blocker. Zeke Elliott is, for the third round role that is clearly vacated here. So I'm kind of just waiting for some shoes to drop. I'm not buying. It's risky because I don't know where Jerome Ford's price is going to go from here if nobody does sign there. But I'm kind of just waiting and seeing here. I'm not buying the Ford stuff, but like I'm clearly articulating here, there's an RB2 role to be had here when you look at these snap shares.
Yeah, I tend to agree with you there, and I'm not certain either it is Ford, but I did like getting me some exposure in the 18th round and stuff. Now that he's pushing up like 16, whatever, it's got to be a very, very certain build for me to be mixing him in as maybe part of a stack or something like that. Neumy, anyone else on the Browns you want to touch on there?
No, I think we can move on to the Cowboys. The only thing I'll say is basically we have 47 watching right now and 21 likes. That ratio is not correct. So if anyone watching could just hit that like button. If you're not subbed, we are just, I believe it's like 79 more, and we're getting the coveted Neumy badge and other badges that we're getting there. Just go ahead, do that, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and might as well just go leave a comment. Help us with the YouTube algorithm. Leave a comment. Let us know your favorite Madden. If you didn't play one, let us know your favorite what nostalgia you had playing back then. But leave some comment. Help us out. Back to regular scheduled programming.
Thank you, Neumy. Yes, thank you for the housekeeping. How about this? If I type this in the chat right there with the Neumies, when you were talking about Irv Smith being bad for the Vikings, wouldn't that make this interactive engagement experience so much more fun?
That's undeniable.
Yeah.
And when Nez starts giving his RBs takes and stands, you just give that sweet little Nez emoji with that little kiss. Ooh.
It's about you. This is about you, not me.
Yeah.
This
It's about
This is the
currently
that's
making 79 burgers.
the energy I'm trying to see.
That's the big dick
we
stuff.
appreciate you, Carlos.
MLB Slugfest, a nice GameCube throwback there
Oh,
as
man.
well. Yeah. Yeah, I kind of agree with Davis here. Run Chubb hard this year and then cut him next year. I mean, I think we're so ruthless in our minds with how these teams should orchestrate and utilize running backs. But doesn't it low-key give you a little bit of Zeke vibes, where it's just kind of like, we're going to go ham with this guy? Or it gives me old school DeMarco Murray, throwback name there, DeMarco Murray vibes, where it was like the Cowboys are just going to run him into the ground and then just, okay, go play for Philadelphia now.
Yeah. Dude, Chubb is so underappreciated by our communities. He's one of the best runners that like we have had the pleasures of watching. Like he is so fucking good. I don't think they cut him.
Yep, fair enough.
I
entirely
think
reasonable.
Basically, real quick, I'll just say if they do bring in a vet, it would probably my brain would be like Lenny over Zeke type, a guy that can catch passes, because who doesn't catch passes? Nick Chubb.
I think either of them makes sense for sure.
Yeah.
I said Zeke just for like the pass blocking, but no, I totally agree. I think Zeke
Lenny's good in pass
Lenny.
pro too. Yeah, Lenny's good in pass pro too. Like Brady trusted him immensely with that role, right? Like that was kind of like his situation that kept him still working over White last year at times, because we saw White be like very good as a pass catcher, but we did not see him be very good as a pass blocker, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And we'll get to White probably in a future show, but yeah, I don't like his ADP very much.
We might not even get to our Lions at this pace.
Yeah.
We might have to do our Cowboys and then hop in a draft.
Okay, cool. Cowboys. I think the big conversation is, does Zeke come back? What do we do with the back end of these running backs? I have taken, apart from pre-big board like drafting window where we were taking some Deuce Vaughn and just betting on that fun Sproles-esque portfolio or profile rather, we were kind of taking some shots there, but I have not touched anyone else on the Cowboys backfield yet, just in fear that either Zeke comes back or they do something funky. Malik Davis looked good at times last year. I can visualize one big break off run that he had last year for a touchdown. But outside of that, I don't know. You guys touching anyone here, calling any shots here, or are we still kind of, treading water?
Tony Pollard is my third highest exposed running back, and I can't stop taking him.
Respect
that. Right now it's just been Tony Pollard's got the backfield for me, and it's like we're really gonna. I mean, maybe to spell them, but are we really gonna give these other guys like that much run where they're fantasy? And maybe they could, but like.
None. I think you're spot on, Neumy. Like, if I'm looking at this from my vantage point, like two things to me. Well, I guess three things for me. Like, think that they're not bringing Zeke back. First off, like signing Ronald Jones, like as just like a professional backup running back. Like, yeah, like we think he should have a role, whatever. He doesn't, but he's there. Two, we saw Malik Davis get used last year. Like Jerome Ford, like didn't like sniff the field last year. We actually saw Malik Davis like be used as a backup running back and like look okay. Like John said, like he can distinctly remember nice plays from Malik Davis. And then three, signing Lil Deuce Vaughn or drafting like Lil Deuce Vaughn, bringing Deuce Vaughn into the fold. Like you spend draft capital on him. Like I think Jones is probably like the one that's like on the true roster bubble here, but I think they all stay. And once these vets sign and kind of clear the way for these depth charts, so now we can actually take like more confident bets. Like I will have some 18th round Ronald Jones. Are you fucking kidding me? Like, of course I will. Like he was going in the 12th last year on the Chiefs. Like I'll take him the 18th on the Cowboys.
Yeah, once I mean a little more clarity, who's the RB2, then I'll be drafting an RB2 on Dallas. That's a great point for how I'm viewing it, Nez.
Hey boys.
Don't
picture this.
Picture
this.
All right.
Picture this.
Campfire emojis.
It's Thanksgiving. We're in Jerry's world. 110,000 people strong.
That's incorrect.
A muffed. That's definitely incorrect. A muffed kickoff. A muffed kickoff pins the Cowboys deep at their own 2-yard line. Who comes out for the second series of the ball game? Ronald Jones.
Oh.
98 yards to the fucking house, and he jumps in the Salvation Army bucket to celebrate. Ronald Jones is the guy you need on the Thanksgiving slate. Picture this, gentleman.
Oh, thank you. I will have 100% Ronald Jones come Thursday, whatever you want to call it.
I'm shipping the stuffing with that one. I know it.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I got the cranberry sauce. You can have the stuffing, my friend.
I love it. Oh man.
That's
all
good.
right. Anyone want to call some shots on the back end wide receivers here? I have not seen a lot of Tolbert taken as kind of like second year breakout. He was healthy and active multiple times last year. They did use Turpin over him. We saw them run Houston over him at times as well. I think it could have been that very Thanksgiving slate where you were trying to get deep on the rankings and draft, some one-off flyers. Like, oh yeah, Tolbert will be out there because Gallup's not out there or whatever. And they used Houston over the bunch. Any reason to try and get over the field early on any of the back tight end names or the back wide receiver names?
I think an interesting strategy would be to, if you really like, I think there's a potential for one of these tight ends to like absolutely like take over that tight end one role. And I don't know who it is, but yeah. If you were to call your shot on like Hendershot, Schoonmaker, one of them, but like, if you were like, I'm 20% Hendershot, like, fuck it. Like, I'm just like, it's a total like roulette wheel roll, but like, hey man, the tight end one for the Cowboys is a pretty valuable role. And I know I'm not all these guys are going to step up and be Dalton Schultz, but like, hey man, if one of those guys do take over, like when Dalton Schultz first broke out, it was like Blake Jarwin was being drafted over him.
That's true. Good point.
And then he broke out and it was like, nope, you needed Dalton Schultz actually. Just kind of pinpointing an ambiguous tight end depth chart. Yeah. There could be somebody really valuable breaking out of here. I wish I had a crystal ball to tell our audience who it is, but I really think that there's someone coming out of this tight end role being valuable.
Well, due to their ADPs, I've been on a DAX stack. If I have a tight end that, like, if all of a sudden I'm planning it out and I'm looking at this and I'm like, okay, I have one tight end. I need other things here. I'm going to wait to the last round because you can most likely get any one of the tight ends. It's been, in a few of them, Jake Ferguson has been the one that I've taken. It's not me confidently saying I believe in Jake Ferguson. I'm a slappy or anything, but like, it just as of right now, that's been my route until, again, we get more news. But I think that's once we get more news, if anything happens, like this tight end's running with the ones, yada, yada, that's when they're going to move up. So now would be the time to make that call, obviously. But I have no idea who's going to emerge out of there.
I'm trying to think back to last year because I remember slates where we were playing like, single game slates or whatever, where we were trying to pinpoint like which of these tight ends would see the usage. Do you remember that last year, guys? And we were always like, Ferguson plays way more snaps, blah, blah, blah. But like Hendershot was the guy catching the passes.
Yeah, that's kind of like, that's how I remember it. Like, that's why I said his name, because I was like, Hendershot ended up being the guy that caught more balls. I don't know.
I'm going to look at the targets real quick here. I'm going to go ahead and hop in a BBM as well. We're going to go ahead and do that. So if you guys wish to draft with us dumbasses and soak up that sweet, sweet streamer EV, there are 7 spots remaining. 7 spots. Now we got 5. This thing is rapid fire filling.
Get in here.
And yeah. I'm just going to take a look here right now. Hendershot only played 9 games, 16 targets, 11 receptions, 100 yards, 2 touchdowns. Comparative to the 11 games from Ferguson, 22 targets, 19 catches, basically the same. Yeah, these are kind of bullshitty stats. They basically scored the exact same amount of fantasy points and whatever. But I do think it low-key confirms our notion that Hendershot was the one who was doing more of the pass catching. We got friends and family in here. Oh, Neumy joined too.
Damn it, I should have got in here.
Look at this. Yeah, well, I hate when nobody tells me that they're going to do that because it changes, it changes the dynamic around here.
I do want to say Blake.
I'm
like
sorry.
Saying so Blake in the chat. I just need to address this. He's saying Jarwin tore his ACL week 1. For BBM2, that was the year 2021. I thought Jarwin was healthy for 2021. Maybe I'm fucked up on that. Yeah, Jarwin was healthy in 2021.
It was 2022 that he tore his ACL.
He tore his ACL in 2019, I believe.
Okay.
No, he tore his 2020. So that was BBM1. He tore his ACL. Then the next season, we were like, Jarwin is actually who you want. And I'm looking at one of my draft boards, and Jarwin went in the 13th round.
Mm-hmm.
And Schultz was undrafted.
Wow. Okay.
We did not have that right at all.
Nez, do you want to be on my team or Neumy's
I'm
team?
not yelling at you, Blake. I'm just clarifying. Jefferson, yeah, you got when Neumy's in the draft. Are you kidding me? Hell yeah,
let's dunk all over his ass.
If he wasn't here,
I've done no BBMs. So this is me getting, just like John, this is me getting my exposure. Oh, one thing I want to say, I'm going to plug this because while we have more viewers, and then at the end when everyone tails off because yada yada, there's a golf tournament in this weird country. I don't know. It's someone's from there, yada yada. The Canadian Open, I think it's something like that. But either way, there will be a stream tonight. Special guest as well. There's gonna be a boots on the ground takes, I will say, on this stream as well. So
feeling the grass, tonight, raking the bunkers,
all that. Dusting, feeling the
rubbing the balls.
Oh, sure.
Cleaning the balls.
Washing the balls.
Cleaning the balls.
Buttercup.
Marking the balls. Marking the balls.
Yeah.
You know what? Do
you put any insignia on your golf balls whenever you mark yours, John? What's yours? Just dollar signs or?
Just a big eggplant emoji. Actually, I actually bought a couple of the Vice balls last year where you could just print your own thing on there, and I put the dog on there a couple times.
Oh, that's cute.
Yeah, it was fun. But I like the Kirkland balls now. I'm a big fan of the Costco Kirkland balls, so I just go.
Dude, they're Pro V1s, aren't they?
More or less. I mean, they're not quite as nice, but
dude, I'm not good enough to care about the shit I use. I have
likewise.
Top flight clubs, and I'm going on so can you guys give me some advice here? I'm going on a bachelor party to San Diego in
nice.
I haven't put this on the PTO calendar for BadgeBros yet, but just so you know, coming up in August, I am going to San Diego, and we are going to Torrey Pines to golf.
Oh my god!
Go fuck yourself.
How embarrassed! Should I not even bring my clubs if they're top flight clubs?
Just rent them. The rental sets at a place like that will be well worth your time and
ask to do a scramble. So it's not. So you're competing with your dudes.
Hey, I'm good, man. Okay.
Oh, okay.
I can flush some irons.
But you gotta hit up Brett Boy.
Oh, what up, Brett? I've been to San Diego a couple times. Let's go to La Jolla. Let's go see the walruses.
Oh, that's good.
But okay, so don't bring the top flight clubs. It seems not worth my time.
Even when I go to Hawaii and stuff, I'm going to Maui in July and stuff. When we play there. I just take and I have these clubs and I like my own clubs. I play with theirs there just because for the same
amount it was, so I was scared. I didn't want to show up and be like, do I do this ahead of time? Do I do this when we book the tee time? Hey, we need to rent some clubs.
You do it when you book the tee time. Yeah, you do it when you book the tee time. You let them know that you'll need that you're traveling and you'll need rental clubs, especially for a place like that. But I have these clubs and I'm not going to spend the $80 to take them on a flight and then as an extra checked bag and then play there when I can get really nice clubs there that are 30. But I'm an 18 or a 15, something like that handicap. If you're a guy who's scratch or you're a guy who plays as a 2 to 5, yeah, bring your own clubs. But for guys like us, like,
Okay.
yeah, they're
Good.
gonna have some
I've
nice
been like,
shit
I
for
was
you
like
to
really
hit.
stressing out about that. I'm not gonna lie. I was
no.
like,
Yeah.
what do I do? What do I do?
But either way, show tonight 6 or 6 p.m. or 6 or 6:30 Central Time, which would be 7 to 7:30 Eastern.
Perfect.
Just going over the round 1 contests for anyone that wants to. Again, also shout out Brendo, who took home the first place prize on, I think it was Sunday. And
Nice.
So quote unquote used my process. So just throwing that out there.
How'd he win then?
God damn. That was good. I was like, well, he used my Oh, I get it. Yeah.
Ooh,
yeah.
QBs are falling as
we got a
ADP
big
chasing
fall.
eluded.
Yeah. Nez, we're on the same team here. I have ETR rankings in here right now, just FYI.
This feels like a Derrick Henry and quarterback.
Yeah, I think we go Derrick Henry. We kind of touched on John Boy's sheet looking at past performances. Derrick Henry pops as like somebody that we are just way too stubborn on and need to take more.
Now the question is, do we try and reach on one of these wide receivers to get ahead of this avalanche, or do we just take what the room has given us and just be like, yo, Patty Mahomes, let's go?
That's Patty Mahomes is fun, man. I think that's kind of interesting, right? Like instead of like doing Hurts, let's get Mahomes. Well, I guess
think
his ADP is higher. Never mind.
I think that, yeah, but I think the thought process there is anyone who takes Mahomes is setting up to take him with Chase, to take him with Higgins, to take him with Kelsey, to take him. Who the hell goes Mahomes Jefferson at the start there, right? Like I think that's going to be, that's going to be like comparatively.
If Chad's out there, yeah, we
unique.
might need to know the combination there, but yeah, especially since
Chad
like
said,
if you don't have Kelsey, like I think there's two ways to look at this, right? When you take Mahomes without Kelsey, it's like one, it's so ambiguous you don't even worry about stacking him, or two, you just take like the cheapest stack partner available. I think you can kind of play that both ways. I would really like to know, like hypothetically, like, do you need to stack Patrick Mahomes if you don't have Travis Kelsey? Like, is he that good that it's like, who cares? It's interesting.
Yeah, that's a great point. And I mean, yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, I don't know. I don't have an answer for that. I was going to go on a little bit of a tangent there. I don't have a good answer for that. I think that's just a really
like
good
maybe
point.
like don't reach on the Mahomes stack, maybe is like how I would answer my own question there. I'm not sure. I know Neumy would say MVS, and I kind of am warming up to MVS. I'm not gonna lie.
What? That's a good callback. That's a good callback. There's two things I wanted to point out here that I really liked. I think they talked about it on I don't know. All the shows run together and articles and stuff like that. So apologies for not giving due credit here. But this start that Chip ran out here of the digs and then pushing up Devonta and then giving yourself 2 outs at the stack with the quarterback. It didn't happen for him. This room got a little greedy here, maybe because all these wide receivers that we're accustomed to seeing fall a little bit didn't fall. And that's why guys like us took quarterback and stuff instead there. But it gives you 2 paths to either of these quarterbacks falling in the 3rd round to get a stack. I think that's really sharp. I think I like it a little bit more when Go Cards doesn't take AJ Brown here because you know what he's setting up, right? Like just think through that. But Tanner doing one of my favorite starts. The Cup plus Barkley is one of my favorite starts. I know there's a little
week
FUD
17
right now. Yeah, I know there's a little FUD right now about Barkley signing the franchise tag and blah, blah, blah. But just such a fun little start that may not be around forever.
It's interesting, right? Because I don't like what's the worst case scenario for guys like Jacobs and Barkley? Like, I think Le'Veon Bell kind of took that, he kind of took that bullet for everybody. And I don't know that we'll ever see people. I don't think we'll ever see a running back hold out ever again. I really, so like, what do we think is the worst case scenario there on those guys? I mean, it's not like they're being priced down too low, but I do think they're going to get a slight bump once they sign. And it's like, what were you thinking was going to happen anyways? I don't know. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think the two that it definitely applies to right now is Josh Jacobs and Saquon Barkley. I think those are the two big ones that applies to. And I think Pat said something on Best Ball Breakfast this morning about Josh Jacobs saying that if the team didn't get better, and now that there's this smoke and mirror stuff with Jimmy G, and did the team actually get better? Now he won't sign or wouldn't sign, blah blah blah. Yeah, I don't know. Like the
I mean,
FUD
just because
couldn't
they
possibly.
that's weird of him to say.
Right,
I get where he's coming from, but like because they replaced your boy Carr with Jimmy G, but like, and they got rid of Waller, so okay, like sure, that's fine. But Waller barely played, dog, and like you had your best season ever. They bring in like Michael Mayer, they signed Jacoby Myers, like
Yeah.
you know. I think he needs to kind of just like take a step back and realize this team might have gotten better or marginally got worse. Like Waller didn't even play last year.
Right.
Like,
yeah.
What are you talking about?
Neumy with the nice little double running back start there in Bijan and Jonathan Taylor. We've seen Bijan fall a little bit in recent memory, not as too sure why, but saw a couple screenshots of him, 13, 14, that kind of range. Interesting.
I just got him in a BBM at pick number 17.
Wow. Yeah. Well, why?
Nuts.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I don't know why.
Interesting to see Parilla take the Garrett Wilson over CD, Amon-Ra, and Adams. And then he winds up getting one of them back, but it was just interesting. I think his plan was always to take two wide receivers. Just interesting to see that he prioritized Garrett over that bunch.
Yeah, I really like Garrett Wilson. I'm cool with that. I think all four, maybe even five, when you include Waddle, are pretty interchangeable. London goes.
Christian Kirk. I have the ETR rankings in right now. They love Christian Kirk, but they don't love Trevor Lawrence, which is like kind of counterintuitive to me. Like I'm like, wait, what?
Yeah, that's interesting.
We could set up a double with JJ. I kind of don't really want to do that. I kind of want to take Mixon.
Okay, that's a run back, so that's a good pick.
Do the run back thing there, and then I think I want to take wide receiver, and I want you to make the pick for me.
Let's hit the orange button for us, or the yellow button, excuse me.
Kirk, Godwin, Marquise, DJ Moore, Mike Evans, Jackson Smith in Jigba.
I think I like Christian Kirk here.
Interesting.
I mean, he's sitting at the top, but I do really like the Jacksonville offense is another one that like we talked about on the Monday show that I am like buying into. I think that there's leaps to be taken there with Trevor Lawrence, like even more so. Yeah, like Calvin Ridley is definitely like kind of like hurts his his chances, but this kind of feels like discount like Jamar Chase, T. Higgins. Obviously I'm not saying Calvin Ridley is on Jamar Chase's level, but when you're thinking about situations with good quarterbacks and good offenses, yeah, Christian Kirk has done it at like every team that he's been on. I think Christian Kirk is very good, and I want to get your thoughts. One of the guys that I am like really really low on right now is Michael Pittman. Do you guys have a lot of Michael Pittman right now?
I do.
Jimmy?
I do.
Do you? Maybe I should change that.
I mean, I have I done anything successful in NFL best ball to make that? You know what I mean? Like
I respect your opinions.
Well, hold up. Okay, so yeah, I have 16% Michael Pittman, but then I also have Alec Pierce as my highest exposed wide receiver.
Oh, that's fun. I made a lot of I went and got Alec Pierce in a lot of my dynasty leagues.
Pull him up. Shoot. Well, look who it is. It's Michael Pittman.
Tanner is a bad guy
because he took the DJ Moore when he was stacking.
And he took his Josh Allen and his DJ Moore. Oh my gosh, that's great. All right. Sorry, I need to excuse
Michael
myself for a
Pittman.
minute. Do you want me to switch to the 2-in-1 draft while I'll just be 1 second. Okay.
Yep.
Boom.
Okay, Neumy, what'd you do here? Oh, you went ahead and took Pittman right there.
Yeah,
There you go.
yeah. I feel like the way I'm doing it, I need to catch up on wideout, and I'm fine with the Colts. Like I don't know. I've seen people like with JT and Pittman. I'm fine stacking them up. I think we've seen the Richardson fall a little bit, which is kind of fun, and I'm still kind of in on Richardson if I can get him in a. I mean, it's tough at that price, but I mean, I'm still in on him. But I
So
could
are
have
you
gone
thinking
Herbert
about
there.
him at 64 right here, or are you
No,
thinking
no,
about
no, no,
waiting
no,
to
no,
like
no,
81?
no. Yeah. Oh, I would even push it. I like to push. Just
Yeah,
the way I
no,
do
for
it.
sure.
I like to push and really not. I'll push it and push it and push it, and then be like, oh look, I pushed it, and all of a sudden I got that quarterback after ADP. Just thinking like I've taken up all of the stack options. Are you just going to go and take a solo Richardson to stack him back with Pierce or solo? That's totally fine, I guess. Like he's the product. I mean, he's got the profile to support that, I suppose. But
Yeah, no, I respect it.
and then here I'm probably just going to go with. See, I have a lot of Mike Evans, but I'm also, I think I'm really
feels-
in. Go ahead.
he just feels like a safe click when you start running back, and then
Yeah,
he kind of is the
but
guy
I'm
who's
going to do
always
something a
there
little
in the
different,
fifth or
and maybe
sixth.
it's stupid, but I'm going to go with Traylon Burks.
Yeah, sure. Take that.
Just for the upside. And as more as I keep clicking Mike Evans, I just wonder, will this be the season that it's like he doesn't get the 1,000-yard, the touchdowns regress? Can Baker, you know what I mean? Like the counterpoints. Can Baker? Well, one, is it going to be Baker's team? We suspect it's Baker, Kyle Trask, right? Like,
Yeah.
It's so. What can Baker sustain that? I mean, we've seen Jameis do it, so yes, we'd like to think it is this redemption for Baker. Yada yada. I have a lot of Mike Evans, so it's not like that. I just in this, I have a lot of teams kind of built like that, but don't know if I have much Treylon, and I enjoy Treylon. I think he takes a step, and one thing that I'll point out to our Ryan Tannehill takes, if Ryan Tannehill doesn't get moved, is Treylon Burks not the biggest beneficiary then? Like we're talking about Drake
absolutely.
London. Is it not the reverse option for basically if Ryan Tannehill stays and all this FUD and like he's the quarterback? It's not Will Levis. It's an established like Ryan Tannehill. We've seen have guys put up good fantasy numbers as wideouts. Like I think Treylon Burks is the winner.
Absolutely. No, I fully agree with that take. Yeah, I was kind of thinking through the options if Treylon came back. Like if Tony came back, Tony would be an option here. If Treylon came back, doing something like Derrick Henry, Treylon, and then not taking another quarterback until the very last round and just tacking on Tannehill would be a fun way to build a Mahomes team. Both of those options went away on us. Nez, we are on the clock here in 15. I am not seeing a ton of wide receivers that I like. This is a little piss boy avalanche. And we got caught behind the 8 ball here.
I like Brandon Cooks.
Okay. Do you want to just be like, hey man, like we can't get this far behind at wide receiver and just do this?
Let's queue him up and then and queue up Quentin Johnston too, because I think I'd rather have QJ than Gabe Davis. But let's just like take a look at this. What else we have here?
Yeah.
As far as like, well, running back, I think we're probably good. That's a really nice value on Dameon Pierce.
It is.
Shoot. I think you can probably take the Dameon Pierce detour if you wanted to. Because we have
see what it looks like. Let's see. Oh my god, another week 7 bye. The bye week bros are after us. Oh man, we got caught in the golden shower. Then we decided that we're just gonna lean in and take a running back, and then that running back had the same bye week. We are toast. Someone take Gabe from Tanner.
You have the opportunity to, Chip. Why not keep the parade going?
Yeah, man. The bye week bros are coming for us after that mishap.
Neumy,
Leave a comment how much that triggers you bye week, bros.
Yeah. Neumy, can you let us know? Is it good to have 3 running backs drafted with high capital that have the same bye week? Is that
in the first 7 picks?
I would go out on a limb to say it's not great.
Okay.
But
Great,
it's
Bob.
about how you can recover. Many have said.
We're gonna try and land
Many
this
have said.
plane somehow. Oh, that's funny. That was a mishap there.
This might unfortunately have to be like a 5 running back team.
I think, yeah, might be 4. I mean, I think it has to be 5 now with the bye week stuff. But I think we might just have to do what I did in this morning's BBM and just shut it down until like round 15.
Definitely,
You know?
definitely. It'll have to be a late consolation and just hope that they're not zeros.
This is the classic. We took too many infielders too early because we got like Bo Bichette and Rafi Devers to fall to us, and we were like soaking up that sweet value. And now we're like, holy shit. We're looking at these pitchers and we're like, is it going to be a Chris Sale year? Is it going to be a we're just clinging,
starting to
like,
paint yourself some nasty pictures.
Yeah,
just
we're
really
just like
desperate.
clinging onto these things.
Yeah, a lot of desperation being made in these picks. That sucks. But if you want to like spin zone this and like these guys hit, talk about a unique combination of running backs. Am I wrong?
That's the thing we can always fall back on is we'll be unique,
I wish there was an
right?
option to take people out of being drafted and you could just like type in like week 7 and all running backs just be like gone, get out, boom, see ya, don't want you, boom, not available, just like do not like a dude, like you could put a personal out tag on someone. Like I do not want this to be queued at all.
Yeah,
not
this happened. Yeah. That's funny. You took Madison there. Madison being a guy that we would
that's my first
absolutely get to in the closing line value stuff. Nice quote about him yesterday. Was it OC or running backs coach? One of the two. Talking about literally said something to the effect of being ready for a 3 down roll.
Yeah. I think. I mean,
yesterday.
It's just still interesting that we still have Cook on the roster.
Yeah, I mean, I think people just like I think all these teams still have these guys because it's not like a hard and fast deadline. It's just once that deadline eclipses, because weird shit can happen, right?
Yeah, I mean,
was he? It's not like he's present at OTAs and stuff like that, though.
No, he's not. All right, this one is a little tough. I just feel like there's a tier break at wideout, and I want to have 5. So we're gonna do this, even though we're gonna do it.
Elijah,
you are.
I wanted.
You are the steam. You are the steam.
No. Yeah, apparently, yeah. I had other options, and they all just got scooped up. I was gonna gladly take Michael Thomas there, but our boy that already had freaking Garrett Wilson, Devontae Adams, Amari Cooper, and Keenan said, no, I need another. So that sucked.
Pissing up a storm. I like what Roofing Man's doing over here. Like kind of like this anchor Gibbs. Yeah, the anchor Gibbs with like first 3 picks all week 17 correlated. And then I imagine you can get some form of just pushing Dak and Goff as far as you can, hoping that nobody else runs them naked in a smart room, and you get one of them to come back to you here.
Yeah, I wonder how many wide receivers he'll finish with. If that was me, I would probably be thinking about capping that at 6, to be honest. But it's probably a 7. It looks more like a 7, but
it's funny to see how the board's been running out in terms of like teams. Like everyone at this far side is pissing up a storm, and then all of us at this other side are just kind of like catching knives. Like it's kind of funny.
I think it kind of evens out in a room, though. You know what I mean? Like the points you get at running back are like they count just the same.
Yeah, I mean, if I had a wide receiver like JJ, I'd be like, I like to your point. That whole when you guys take, I'll shut up. Let you guys take a.
Damn,
we can
another value.
Yeah, we can't take running back. We could double down on the Jags bet and take Evan Ingram.
Yeah. I kind of like Njoku more. I'm not gonna lie.
I like Tyler Boyd. Tyler Boyd, we get the
Run
little
back, let's go.
correlation. Yeah, another week 7 bye guy, but hey, here we go. Yeah, I kind of like a little contingency value and a little run back there.
Well, I love Jameson Williams. I take a lot of him. I would say him or Njoku personally.
To Jameson Williams. I do not take a ton of Jameson Williams. I am not going to lie.
I like to take Jameson on teams that kind of like already have a little bit of established wide receiver, and all of a sudden you don't really need him right away. I think that's been Nez's thesis, but it's like you don't need his points right away, and all of a sudden it's just injecting into that team. You're hoping that it like you're not too much of a hole basically by just taking your 9th round pick for 6. Is it 6 games?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, but for me, I don't know if you guys feel the same, but when I'm at 3 wideouts, even like 4 is like okay, depending on what 4. But if I have 3 wideouts and all of a sudden I have to go to Juju Smith or Tyler Boyd as my 4th wideout, I just go oof.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I just feel like we're just all of a sudden.
No, you're right.
Now it's just like it's just oof. And I just feel like I just feel like what do I have to do to then make this team, or like how do I play the rest of the board? And it just
counterpoint to that, Neumy, is like if you look at this kind of 7 through 9 range of all the yellow on the board right now, I think there's a tier break after Bateman and Davis. Like Bateman and Davis feel like, those are solid, good, reliable bets plus offer ceiling. Like that's kind of how I feel about them. But then if you look at every
what the actual fuck, Chip? What the actual fuck, Chip?
Spam the chat, baby.
Why? Chip, why? Oh my god, you're so on. I'm done. Like brother,
this is why we need the emoji. Why? Let's go.
You could have had anyone else, Chip. What?
Richardson over Gino is that's you just take Gino from him.
Oh
Gino's the better pick. Take Gino.
That's funny. Oh, good clean fun, gentlemen. Good clean fun.
No, go fuck yourself.
Wow, Neumy tilts. I'm looking up using John.
Oh my god, like I don't even know what to do. Like fucking AJ Dillon on a 3 running back team when I started running back. Oh,
I'm looking up the historical scores, right? And
hey, Tanner's hanging out with us. What up?
What up, Tanner? You're making
look at that pure ass left-handed swing there. Look at that thing. Look at the follow through. Look at the finish he's got.
Where's he looking at? Is that left-handed? That looks like one of those like silhouettes that could be right or left.
No, it's a follow through like this. It comes through and then he's on the follow through.
Tanner, are you lefty? We gotta know.
Of course he's a lefty.
How often do you think Tyler Boyd scores more than 10 fantasy points? I'm not sure if
for the last 3 years percentage you're asking for
percentage.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm looking because I can't do the quick math on anything else. But yeah, last 3 years, how often does he score more than 10 fantasy points?
They're 28% of the time.
Neumy, do you have a guess? How often does Tyler Boyd score more than 10 fantasy points? Go ahead and unmute yourself if you have an answer. Over the last 3 years.
How often does he score more than 10? Let's go with Tyler Boyd. 15% of the time.
15. John, you said
28.
49.
Wow.
49.
Okay. So back to the point before Neumy tilted his face off when we were talking about all these wide receivers in this range, and why I was saying with Tyler Boyd is like I think in this build where we have kind of like an anchor wide receiver and then didn't spend capital until like the 5th and 6th, that like a guy like Tyler Boyd giving us some floor plus contingency value makes a lot more sense than like taking a dart throw on Quentin, taking a dart throw on Elijah Moore potential breakout, taking a dart throw on Juju potential breakout, or no, maybe not potential breakout. He's kind of the same bet. Oh no, it's just interesting. It's interesting.
He does that more often than it's like the same rate as Brandon Cooks as far as scoring more than 10.
Yep.
It's a better rate than Cortland Sutton. It's a better rate than Alan Lazard. It's better than Juju by like a fraction. Maybe we give Boyd a little bit more respect than
it's like having the conversation of, are we searching for usable weeks right here, or are we searching for spike weeks here? I think we can break up the player pool. Right. And he offers both. It's kind of like, and then some contingent value, right? I don't know. Maybe I'm just too bullish on like the Tyler Boyd in there. He just feels like safe and good, right?
With a Mahomes team, I think he makes like really, really good sense.
Rondell?
I think we should go blue and yellow here as far as our options. Rondale is probably my first choice. I don't.
Okay. There's Gallup as well. I've been pushing up Rondell. ETR has him way pushed up here, maybe too far.
Yeah,
I've been getting
get him
in
on the
that
other end. That's why I was kind of wanting to see what other wideouts were there, but and then
okay.
we have Elijah Mitchell if you just want to like get somebody to fill in that week 7 bye week that is like a better chance of
no more running backs. We'll do that later.
We're taking you might as well just not even take a running back then if you're gonna like, because we can do 3 tight ends.
Who are we taking here?
I'm taking Elijah Mitchell.
Okay, well, I vetoed running back. So
you said a guy that might not have a quarterback at tight end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I never take Chig, and we have Henry, and another guy on week 7 bye. Perfect.
Like for me, I think I would rather like get a better chance at a non-zero in week 7, plus with some flex upside, considering like we have a Justin Jefferson led wide receiver room. But maybe next pick there'll be some options there. But I think you should start to consider patching that week 7 hole that is gaping on this team.
That's what makes us unique, Nez.
That's right. I can't forget the whole thesis.
It's unique to not score any points at running back week 7.
This is a good one.
Have it your pre-destiny point.
Interesting. I wonder how Boyd is probably 28. Yeah, he's 28.
Ooh.
Interesting. I bet here's a take. You did. I wonder if Tyler Boyd ends up as a Steeler in his future.
Coming back home narrative.
Yeah,
that wide receiver room's pretty deep right now. But if you let go of Deontay Johnson and Allen Robinson next year, and then he comes back and fills like one of those voids.
Yeah, you're gonna probably have to make some signings. I hope they bring back Deontay. I feel like now is as good a time as any to extend him since he had a down year. Like, get in on that. But yeah,
he hasn't scored a touchdown since Nam.
Yeah, but everybody's still in on him. Like, I feel vindicated because I'm such a Deontay Johnson like apologist. So seeing everybody like buying in on him is fun. Like, I wonder if it would be better if he like scored 3 touchdowns or 0 touchdowns, because now everybody just like, oh, the regression, and then if it was 3, it would be like, oh, he had a bad year. You know what I mean? Like, I wonder what would be better.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah, he's a lefty, boys. Come on.
Everybody knows what I was going to say.
Oh, Winnie, game 3 tonight. I mean, I hope for the sake of the series and for the sake of my wanting Florida to win for Luongo's sake, I hope Florida comes out the gates hot tonight and does a little something back at home. But they've been getting walked on. The Vegas just looks bigger, faster, everything. It just, Man, the amount of odd man rushes that they get caught on is just a bad look right now.
Vegas has what?
Continuing not
Marchessault
building.
and Eichel, right? That's like that's their two.
Yeah,
big
and
guys.
Mark Stone. Yeah.
And then good blue line core too.
That's insane,
I
man.
think both
Vegas
teams
like
have
came
good-
into the league just like good. Did they not?
Yeah, but same with the Kraken now too, right? Like the Kraken have only been around 2 years and they're doing well because the cap situations are just like so bad where teams are. Man, you know the dog's up to no good when he just bolts behind me. I gotta go get this guy, man.
Okay.
Yeah, they got
Damn.
3 quality, healthy lines, right?
Sheesh.
Oh, let me grab this guy.
Let's go. All right, Neumy took a little Dalton Schultz there. Was that your first tight? Yeah, that was your first tight end. Are you thinking 2 or 3 tight ends on your team?
3 probably. Is
These
my
kicks that he stole.
I remember those. Oh my gosh, they had one for every team. That makes so much sense that John is a team kicks guy. That just checks out.
I just have to push him up because there's no one else there.
We are leading the charge on Van Jefferson.
I don't want to take him that early. I normally don't. It's just this room is just complete, and I there's no reason I need another running back there. I have tight end plans. I have quarterback plans. So
I'm at 20% Van Jefferson, man.
Yeah, I like the Rams. I like betting on the bounce back that Stafford is hopefully when healthy, he's just going to produce. And I like that. Van Jefferson, wide receiver 2? Like there's no one there. It's
Puka now. Everybody's saying Puka Nakua. Like, watch out.
Okay, sure. So Cooper Kupp and Van Jefferson. But yeah.
It's the Tutu Atwell story all over again.
Yeah, watch Tutu Atwell actually be the one that scores more points. That'd be funny.
God.
Yeah. Yeah.
Here, Blake bring up a good one too in that conversation that like they made the Cup final their first year because like
that's what I remember.
Like they're just it's so the teams are so smart now at what you can do without inheriting any mistakes, right? If you don't inherit any mistakes in terms of like cap hits and stuff, you can just make a good team right off the bat, right?
Yeah.
Sorry, Neumy, I just.
Oh, you're good. You're good.
I am thinking about some players.
That is
I think I like
players are what you
Higbee.
draft.
Yeah, Higbee feels good here.
Who's our tight end? Is it? It's Chig, week 7.
Yeah, it's going to be a 3 tight end build for sure. I think it's going to be 5 running back because we effed up the bye weeks. We could double down on Jacksonville because we have Kirk and then do like a Bigsby thing. We could fade that entirely and do.
I would do Jamal Williams.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, if you're looking for floor to fill those week 7 buys, that he makes a lot of sense as a player, right? Like he's never going to get phased out. Even if Miller wins the backfield, I don't think he ever gets phased out. And he's such a proficient goal line back that if you're looking for like just a plug and play in a bye week to touchdown hunt on 8 carries, he's the archetype for that, right?
Yeah, no, I like Jamal at his price. The Kamara stuff, we obviously just need to like wait and see, but I think following the money there, I don't know that they bring in Jamal.
Thanks. I had no fucking clue. Thanks, man.
That's so good.
Did that ever
What a
cross your mind?
line. What a line.
Did you even know does he know I have JT too?
Hey, Neumy, did you ever consider maybe stacking your quarterback with your pass catchers? Did you ever? Oh my God, this guy is on one right now. Stole something else now.
I did, but then
I
a
love that
fucking
walk.
imaginary fucking cartoon character just came down from the top rope and decided to bring
Cartoon
Max
character.
Payne to my day.
Oh
And
my
not only did he
goodness,
take
that was
AR, but
fun.
he didn't even give him the respect of like being his only quarterback for like a while. He took another one like immediately after, so he wasn't even feeling that strongly about AR. That's fucked up, man.
What a fraud, man. What a fraud.
I love that walk that dogs do, John. Like when you could tell they got something they shouldn't, and they kind of like trot.
Oh yeah,
a little bit.
the
Yeah,
pounce. Yeah,
yeah. Like you definitely got
Please
into
don't
something
do
that
it,
you shouldn't have.
Carlos. Please don't do it, Carlos. I swear.
Oh, buddy. Miss the medium boy sometimes.
I appreciate you, Carlos.
Oh yeah, you can't steal that sweet Osborne.
Hey man, I saw all of a sudden I looked at his squad over there and I saw Christian Watson. I'm like, I swear to God, if you take KJ Osborne, just mini stack that. But no, he took Jordan Love, which was right at ADP. I'm like, I'm looking at these picks. I'm like, you have the better pick. Do not.
This has been a pretty ruthless room in terms of making people zig and zag. Based on like, hey, we're not staying in our lanes today. We're setting something up, and then boom.
It's like it's all over again.
And I made a joke about landing your plane, and all of a sudden I'm freaking over here like I'm about to land it in the freaking Hudson River. Like
it's
cap it off.
Before.
We're gonna cap this off with an omen to that and take Tanner Hudson in the 18th round with the last pick.
That's so good. That actually makes sense too for this team. That was really good.
John's like, yeah, I know. I made the joke.
I'm at 11% Osborne actually. Okay. I was hoping I was.
I think he provides spike weeks. The interesting thing, I don't know if the trend continues. We saw that JJ can have that floor. We'll wonder if maybe another year in the system, another year with KO, and it's like, hey, all of a sudden it's we're actually scheming these up, and there's not that many games Eagles-esque, maybe, and maybe I'm missing another one, the Packers-esque when he put up the duds. Like those are kind of a thing of the past, and maybe his floors maybe kind of increases to 10, but just in general, I think I still think he's a focal point of that offense.
Yeah, and I think
not a focal point, but he's a part of that I should say. Sorry,
yeah,
he's a part of that offense.
I think you can probably like confidently say like he should see maybe at most like a marginal volume increase if you take out Thielen, who commanded like the second most targets in football, and add in the rookie Jordan Addison. Like, why can't Osborne like take like? I know he needs to be a good enough player to help take that leap, but I think he's a good pick. I think at that range where wide receiver gets like really gross.
Yeah. If you think about it, like you said, all they did was lose Adam Thielen, which all those targets, and then they drafted Addison in the first round, but like that they didn't really add any other competition. There's nothing else.
Just to clarify, it wasn't the second most targets in football, was just on his team. Second most targets on his team.
Yeah, for Thielen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My bad. He did have a lot of targets. I need to figure out how many he actually had.
But yeah, no, it's just like the vacancy on that team and that role is basically what.
Thielen had 111 targets last year, which was in line with Joshua Palmer, Juju Smith-Schuster, Cortland Sutton, Tyler Higbee, Marquise Brown, Dalton Schultz.
Gotcha.
That's just raw numbers. I don't know what that translates into, per games played, and I don't know if he missed any time last year.
You guys have an interesting stack here for a quarterback who's fallen. Like,
we have no one to pair with. Like MVS went in front of us. What?
It works, dude.
When you have Jameson Williams, Jared Goff has fallen 40 picks in ADP.
This fall makes no sense. You have to.
Okay, fine. No, I was thinking of the Mahomes one. I was thinking about how we stack Mahomes now and not run naked Mahomes. I mean, we're gonna have to push like Richie James up like a bunch of picks or something.
I mean, you can still take him in the 18th. Put Chiefs in the search bar. Who's the next man up?
It'll be Richie James.
Well, you don't know unless you do it, but
Well, I'm in the interest of time. I know the answer. It's Richie James.
Okay. Well, Knox.
Fuck. See, you
Renfro.
made me put Chiefs in the search bar for no reason when I knew the answer to the question.
Listen, man, this is your team. Sometimes you gotta just
You were supposed to be
wheel.
on my team.
Hey,
you know what?
Fine. Renfro was on the winning BBM team last year, so it's fine.
Well, in terms of dusty ass floor wide receivers on a build where we took a lot of running backs early to give us usable weeks, fine.
We're good. To correct myself, he was second in routes run, not targets.
There you go.
I knew he was second in something good.
That's
yeah,
good
routes
nugget.
run.
I like that.
Oh, he took Blake. You can't even.
Holy Baker Mayfield. Is that his ADP? No, it is not.
No.
Already on a 2-quarterback team.
That's wild. Okay, Stormtrooper. That's interesting. Maybe what does he have? Does he have Bucks?
Yeah, he does. That's what I'm saying. You got to get your stacks. He's got White and Godwin.
You guys seeing this like Bryce Young fall?
In this draft or in general?
Both. Well, in this draft, it's not egregious, but
I think people are just shocked watching him in OTAs.
Dude, that's exactly what it is. It's exactly what it is. People are like, "Holy shit, this dude is tiny."
Mm-hmm. Like he's gonna get hurt.
Yeah, like can he? Like how many passes is he gonna get knocked down? Like how? Yeah, can he take a sack? Like if personally, man, like in a vacuum, I think I'm taking Stroud over him.
Hayden would agree with you. Hayden was a Stroud guy from the jump, and kind of talking through their weapons and situations like we did the other day. Remember we pulled up the 2 and it was kind of like, I kind of want the Houston side of this. Yeah, very interesting. I'm scanning this team for how we're gonna save this, Nez.
Listen. This is it. It doesn't. The running backs we have are going to be so good that you won't even notice they're gone in week 7. Well, you will, but the standings won't matter. That's how I see it.
Okay, I think this team needs some stacking with the Chiefs. I think this team is dying for Richie James, which is just a tragic statement to share. But
hey, John, close your eyes and picture this.
Oh, baby. Yes. You tempt me with this team. This team is finishing with Justin Ross, Justin Watson, and Richie James. That's how we're finishing this team.
One of those guys will be the guy you need.
We're spending 3 roster spots on 1 pick.
Yes. Yes, we are.
Just like you did with the running backs. 3 roster spots, 3 in the same bye week. Let's go.
Play
action.
Clyde Edwards-Helaire on the wheel route.
Yeah, there we go. Now you're speaking my language. Well, there's a couple ways we can finish this. We could finish this with like CEH, Richie James, Noah Gray. Not crazy. Is it crazy?
I think I would probably rather do. We have 2 tight ends, Richie James and Justin Ross. I think I would want. I would want both of those guys.
Okay. What about? Do you think we're good enough to just go? I was going to make this a 3 tight end build, like for sure, with Chig and Higbee.
Yeah, I think it should probably be
Chigbee.
That's it. Yeah, we got the Chigbee combo.
You got Chigbee on your team.
You could. It feels really thin to just leave that at 2, but right, if there's any 2 to like call our shots on, like we think Chig is like an efficiency monster, and we think Higbee is like way undervalued because of Stafford. I think you could get crazy. I think you could get crazy.
The other one I was thinking of there that Omar just took was like a dusty vet who could wind up on KC.
We needed Leonard Fournette.
Yeah, we needed usable weeks here.
You guys might have something fall into your lap.
Yeah, the other name.
Oh, Brett Boy. Brett.
Boy,
Boy,
Brett.
Brett.
Oh, I guess they have Hunt too. Okay. Takes Tim Patrick.
So we could do the Richie James thing.
Yeah, I think he's picked. Yeah, I think he's one of these picks.
Like, I think it almost has to be, because like unstacked Mahomes with like just 1 or 2 bringbacks like feels just so gross. I mean, it doesn't, but do the Richie James thing. This team would be so much nicer if Jamal Williams was still on Detroit.
What if no tight end explodes in the playoffs? And it's like it doesn't matter who you have. What if?
I mean, it's definitely viable. Do you like Zeke here then?
I guess Laporta does fit this team too. Like Roofing Man says.
Who do you like? Who do you like? Who do you like?
I think Laporta.
That's the dude that fell into your lap.
All right.
That's 30 picks past ADP.
As IMO, with those 2 tight ends, I'm not comfortable. And maybe that's
I'm not.
wrong. Maybe that's false thinking.
Yeah.
If I had those 2 tight ends, I would want to attack on a third. And
100%. 100%.
You got Laporta, and you just got Goff at 48 pick or 41 picks past ADP, and Laporta.
Our Lions
20. I'm trying to do quick math. 28. I mean, that's unbelievable. That's a fun.
I was
that's
so
that not many people are gonna have.
Yeah, I was so worried about the Kansas City stuff that I didn't see what was right in front of my face.
This team ended up like pretty nice. I think
I feel like we always say that, and it's never true.
It's always true. It's always true. We draft good teams.
Yeah, sometimes.
Sure we do.
Oh man, yeah, LaValue. Yeah, LaValue right here.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Oh, is this for real? That is interesting.
What?
That is interesting.
Boo.
I mean, if you go win now window mindset, like, I don't know.
Really? Huh.
Don't you do it. Don't you do it, Carlos.
You go like Derrick Henry has like 1 more year left. We have breakout from Treylon this year. It's Tannehill's last year. Let's go for it. Let's go 1-year deal. We have some money to add him.
He would look sick in a Titans uniform.
Yeah, just like that powder blue with the dreads.
Yeah, everybody looks good in a Titans uniform, but yeah.
That's true. It's interesting, man. Like, there's just certain dudes who you look at and you're like, that guy's fucking good. You know? Like, that guy's good at football.
I think Hopkins.
That's how I feel. That's how I feel about Shorter.
That's how I felt about Auden Tate.
Auden Tate, nice.
Team
Auden
preseason got me on that one.
A lot. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think the Hopkins team is sensible. I will say, call him Dusty, whatever you want, but like he commanded a lot of targets still last season, even off the suspension. He was good.
Yeah. Man, Roofing Man doing a nice little thing here. Anchor tight end right now with 7, 8, or 9th tight end that you want to consider Waller, right? You get him stacked with Daniel Jones later, and then you just make 2 contingency darts with your last 2 tight ends, with your last 2 picks. And you don't give up. You just don't give up a ton. Oh, sorry, you can't see it because of the overlay. The last one's Jake Ferguson.
I saw it on the ticker on the top.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
No, that's cool. There's a lot of really fun ways to attack tight end this year. To me, it really is like the biggest puzzle piece is
Hmm.
what to do with tight end, because I mean, like, I feel like we talk about it in dailies all the time. It's just like, did you have the tight end you needed? Like, no, like, good game. You lost.
Right.
Um,
Yeah.
and
It's kind of like starting
doing
pitcher
that in
last
various
night.
ways. Right.
It's like we don't want to prioritize starting pitcher. We don't want to build around starting pitcher, but hey, sometimes you have to, because if you don't have Kevin Gossman last night, GG's,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's true. And I've been doing a lot of like dual elite tight end in that, in that same vein, just
Mhm.
trying to either, hit them
Go
both,
Cards
get a
took
flex
Justin
stop.
Ross, guys.
It's all right.
Dream's
We probably
dead.
need a running back.
Yeah. So the thought process here is, what archetype of running back do you need? Seen Cordell Patterson go there. We saw Evan Hall go there. We saw Joshua Kelly.
I think Hunt.
Yeah, it gives us multiple paths too. It gives us some closing line value potential, and it gives us the potential that he goes back to Kansas City reunited. If there's someone who's
Ooh.
gonna, I think it's a little less likely now that they brought McKinnon back, because it's kind of making the same bet twice, and they know that they have Pacheco and CEH still.
Yeah,
Kareem Hunt or CEH? Who fits this team better?
CEH.
Okay.
God, I hate it, but like,
Yeah.
it's true.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think I like clicking Hunt's name more, but I think CEH makes the build.
Carlos says
Yeah.
he 5x hates his team.
5x hates. Okay. Let's sauce Carlos's team, forget our two teams, and call her a day.
Yeah. All right.
I'm gonna bring it up in the other view because it's just better.
I like to see the thumbnails.
Well, he took both Green Bay quarterbacks, so that's a no-no.
Yeah. Hello, handcuffing your quarterback.
2772. Rodgers, Love, J.K. Dobbins, Cam Akers, Isaiah Pacheco, Khalil Herbert, Devin Singletary, Chase Brown, Cordero Patterson, Chris
It's
Olave,
a 6th floor of 6 points a game from all those guys.
Chris Olave, Calvin Ridley, Christian Watson, Mike Evans, Alan Lazard, Zay Jones, McCall Hardman, Travis Kelce, Luke Musgrave. Carlos, I am not going to share. That's not a pretty team, but could it find its way? Potentially.
Oh, wow. I mean, you couldn't find any other like former like people that have torn their ACLs after Akers and Dobbins, huh? Okay. Yeah, this is the unstacked Jacksonville wideouts. I love where your head's at there. Love where your head's at there. Mike Evans catching passes from Baker, like that's just like, if you want upside, like there it is. Yeah, we'll see. You can look out for us as we advance in this pod, but
double stacked both of his quarterbacks.
Oh yeah, sorry, Blake. It was the Achilles
with 0 bringbacks.
Okay,
you got to do it.
When it's there, you have to do it.
You got to do it.
That immediately gives this team life. Anytime you put a little bit of spite into a team, if you have a spite pick, then your team is like that. That gives you some bulletin board material for your guys. So you're back.
Chip's team is entirely built around one isolated spite pick right there.
Look at that. AR.
All right, man. Fun show. Good stuff. We will have to keep doing the depth chart thing, finish that off. I mean, we are just a couple windbags out here and never finish what we intend to finish. But I think it's a fun exercise. I think it's a really good exercise in this time of year before we get actual camp news, before we get, we could speculate a little bit on the OTA stuff, but like before we get like full-fledged news and usage and this sort of thing, it's a good exercise to just get familiar with these depth charts and then get familiar with, hey, where are we making our bets right now? Okay, how are we going to pivot in the future knowing that we made those bets in the past, right? It's just kind of thinking through our entire portfolio. Any parting words, gentlemen?
No, I'll see you in the baseball streets. Thanks everybody for hanging out with us. This is fun. We'll have to pick up where we left off on Friday or something to get through the rest of these charts.
Yeah, I think we're gonna have Mark join us on Friday, talk a little micro stuff, talk about where his portfolio's at, talk about some of those players that he likes. Hopefully that one comes to fruition. Everybody, Neumy, give me the plug for tonight.
Neumy After Dark, BadgeBros Unhinged channel. Link should be in the bio below. Go ahead, sub to that right now if you're not. Get the notification bell already loaded up so you know when I go live. Yeah, we'll be either 6 or 6:30 depending on maybe yeah, I think 6 is a good spot. MLB already locked behind then. They only got a late slate. So yeah, come join, see the process, hang, draft a few teams. Yeah, should be fun.
Love it, man. Love it. And I imagine you guys talked through the merger a little bit. We didn't address that on this show. We made a joke about it yesterday on MLB, but just something for people to look forward to.
Yeah, we'll hear our thoughts, as not going too deep into the politics of all that as we can. Mm-hmm. So yeah, we'll just give our quick little thoughts as again, hopefully special guest tonight, little boots on the ground action up there in Toronto. Maybe that gives everyone a little idea who it is, but yeah.
Love it, man. Okay. We will be drafting the MLB streets. Use Nez's cheat sheet there. 10 gamer fun slate. Is Stone Garrett facing a lefty again? Because if he is the new Patrick Wisdom, by the way. Stone Garrett.
No, he's not. He's facing Zach Davies.
Ah, damn it. With the revenge narrative too. All right. On behalf of Nez, Neumy, myself, we are the Badge Bros. We will be back tomorrow talking MLB on the Underdog HQ channel. The road to 1K subs so that we can spam the chat when Neumy tilts his face off again. Thank you all for hanging out. Please hit that like, subscribe, follow on your way out the door. Everybody's favorite time of the show. The end. Peace.